Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a good day. Good Sunday. Is that what this is? Hang on, I got to take medicine. Forgot to do it before the show, and I am way too tired to be taking it. I should just wait, but I know what I need to do. Dun, 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 dun. Oh. That'll feel better in about an hour. Let's take the pain pills while I'm at it too. How is everybody? Did you guys have a good Saturday? A good time this weekend so far? I didn't do a whole lot, and well, that's normal. Was it this Monday? Because we played. What the hell day is it? I don't even know. Oh yeah, good Monday. Hope you had a good Sunday. I just realized we did a game stream tonight. Time just kind of runs together when I'm left to my own devices. So I wasn't gonna do the show. I was gonna go to bed, and I was in bed laying there, and I thought, "Oh shit! I told Jack we were gonna go around 11 tonight." Shit. So I crawled my ass out of bed, came in here, and started the show. Guys, so tired. I do my best to keep this one, this is not sleeping. I know, Nuts. Hey, Nuts, we let the people in the crowd there know the best way to know when I'm about to go live. Some of them seem very confused about what it means when I start the show. There's a trick you guys can do, and I've seen Nuts mention it in chat before. There's a trick you can do to know when I am about to actually start the show. It's pretty easy. Dun, 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 dun. Let's talk about some stupid shit, shall we? There's no shortage of stupid shit today. I didn't watch a bunch of it or engage in a bunch of it, but I saw some. I am doing my very best not to yawn really loud in your ear because there's people who are going to be listening this first thing in the morning, and I'm trying not to. Let's talk about this chick. What's her name? Lindy Lee. It's actually one of the last things I saw before I went to lay down, and it's just absolutely asinine, absolutely stupid. I tweet the show out right before I go live most of the time, guys. I send out the link on Twitter, and that's how you know Monkey will be here within a moment or two. Now, that's not always true. Sometimes I'm still like 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. Depends on if I get distracted. I try very hard to do that right before, though, so that people know. Anyway, Lindy Lee, she is she's a DNC delegate. I think we've run into her before. I've talked about her before. I remember that DNC delegate being in her fucking bio. Joe Biden, DNC delegate, political contributor, ARC Foundation, AARC Foundation, no, Acker Foundation, AACR Foundation, trustee, Princeton alumni class president. She tweeted this out. At Kamala Harris today, there will be, quote, there will be a resistance to your ambition. There will be people who say to you, you are out of your lane, end quote. She goes on to say, Ed Rendell told me to run for township supervisor, not Congress. Raise your hand if you're a woman who's ever been smeared as too ambitious. Smeared as too ambitious. Now, I should point out to you, Lindy Lee here ran for Congress in 2018 and lost. She ran for Congress and lost. Maybe Ed Rendell knew what the fuck he was talking about. Maybe you running for Congress when you had no fucking, I don't know, no reason for anybody to vote for you? No governmental experience at all? Maybe he was trying to help you by going, hey, you should probably run for county supervisor rather than trying to jump straight into the U.S. Congress. Does the word smeared mean something different in the U.S.? No. Look, I can see, women get very offended about certain words if you use them about them. Remember bossy? We're not supposed to say bossy. It's a bad word towards women for some reason. But apparently ambitious is now a smear. It's a smear, you guys. Sometimes people are trying to give you advice. And you know what? I think you have a Streamlabs donation. I'm so sorry I didn't hear any alert. What is wrong with the alerts on this thing lately? Pete, thank you so very much. It's very kind of you, sir. It says, hey, monkey. Hello, sir. I don't know how to fix that. I had the same problem the other day, but it was working earlier. All right. Thank you, Pete. And I'm so sorry. And guys, if you do donate on Streamlabs, please let me know. Criminy. Damn it. Anyway, there are times when somebody will tell you, hey, you're being too ambitious, and you know you can do it. And you can show them up, and it ends up being a great story for a Lifetime movie. More often than not, you're just out there shooting too high. Shooting a little bit too high. Sometimes you need somebody to come in and go, you know what? If this is what you really want to do, you should come over here, get some experience and learn things before you jump into the deep end so you don't fucking drown. So you don't fucking waste a whole bunch of money and now you're the loser of a congressional race rather than the winner of a county supervisor seat. Smeared you with ambitious. Smeared you. Well, I feel like he was right. I feel like if he told you to calm down and cool your jets and you lost, then maybe he was right. She lost to a Democrat. She's a Democrat. She lost to a Democrat. So it's not like it was, she just wasn't, good enough to win in that. They hired Democrats in that fucking area, that shit precinct. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, she lost. If you've ever been smeared, raise your hands, ladies. If you've been smeared with ambitious. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Which leads me to my other one that I saw right before that. And I realized why I was seeing these together, and it's because Alyssa Milano was tweeting these out. She was retweeting all this shit tonight. She must have been sad or something, so she needed people on Twitter to recognize her, so she was retweeting a bunch of shit. This one we're going to put on the screen. I'm not going to say anything while it's on the screen. Well, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to read what's on the screen. You guys, if you're out there listening right now, sorry. Maybe I should read it. I don't know. Did I mention I'm tired, guys? All right, I won't read the original tweet. We'll just read what's in these. How about that? And I have to stop it so that I can make sure I read them. First one says, hope you know your role and made Bar a sandwich yesterday. Not very clever. Not very clever, really. This one says, you are a fat, rude bitch. I don't understand the hate and rudeness somebody else said. I don't know if it was the same person. It's not made clear because they blocked the people who said it. The next one said, did anybody call you a bitch today? Did anybody tell you about yourself today? Well, if they didn't, let me be the first to tell you that you are a bitch, a worthless bitch. No likes on that one. What a nasty old witch. Is it any wonder people are leaving the Democratic Party? I find you and your left-wing peers so hateful and obnoxious. I quit the quote kind and quote tolerant. Democrats because why is there an extra space in that? Anyway, Democrats because of the blatant hypocrisy. Surprised the people of Pennsylvania would elect you or elect someone like you. Horrible. That's not as bad as the bitch one. I feel like they should have worked up, They should have worked up to these things. Done them in an order that's like, okay, this one's not that bad. The sandwich one's not that bad. Has anybody told you you're a bitch today? That's something you put near the end. That's just storytelling right there. That's good storytelling. Let's see. What's this one? Call in. Wow. Call in so this bitter old hag can talk over you and not allow you to address any issues. Then she will turn around and claim you talked over her and that you are sexist. What an idiot this lady is. This is about mid. That's where that should be. This should be in the mid-range. These are not Alyssa Milano's tweets, Keeverdam. I'll explain in a minute. The next one says, you were downright awful yesterday. Your poor husband and sons. Even my Montco Democrat friends were embarrassed. Durham is coming. Nothing you soulless goblins can do to stop it. Again, this one needs to be at the front. This one's not that bad. You were a hateful heifer, Madeline Dean. How many blowjobs did you give for? I'm guessing that's for your job. Wow. Does she give blowjobs for her job? Because, that's one way to get one. After watching this wretched woman and the rest of her goon squad act like cunts to the Attorney General, I stopped in to see if people like her. Took me 3 scrolls to figure it out. Nope. Reclaiming my time. Not very well written. Not well written at all. We're going to have to guess what that word is. I'm guessing bitch. Well, it says rude old cow. You fucking rude old cow? We'll go with fucking. You fucking rude old cow. How dare you accuse Mr. Barr of being disrespectful when we all saw how you crowd of jerks acted? You are simply repulsive. Couple more, guys. Couple more. I watched your Karen rant on Barr. You're a regular vag flap, aren't you? I'm not supposed to be laughing at these, but I can't help it. It wasn't bitchy dangerous because there was a straight line there, and a Y would have an angled line. You could still see the straight line that was part of the last word or last letter. Stupid cunt. Well, that's shortened to the point. You're a lying cunt. America's watching our cities burn while whores like you sell your soul to the devil and support the burning. We see you. You are being voted out. Oof. Ouch. That was harsh. Props to Barr keeping his cool. I would have called you a cunt bitch. Some people have. We're almost it was at the end of it. Yeah, there we go. That was the end of it. Those are the messages. Bitch actually made a video of these things she was called. And this is what she says. Her name is Congresswoman Madeline Dean. This is what happens to women when we say something, speak up, speak truth to power. This is what happens when our tone doesn't sit right with a corrupt and dishonest attorney general. I won't be bullied. I will not be silent in the face of injustice. See you on Monday. I want to point out a couple of things here. First of all, the attorney general had nothing to do with these. Unless you can point to something he had to do with them, you bringing him up is irrelevant. It really is. This is what happens when our tone doesn't sit right with a corrupt and dishonest attorney general. He didn't write these things. And I feel like if he had, you'd have made sure we saw the name. But more importantly, Do you know what kind of names I've been called online? What kind of things have been said to me in various different forums throughout the years? Things that make all of this look, well, rather tame. Ladies, I need you to listen to me. You need to stop whining about how you talk to online. It doesn't make you look like anything other than, well, weaklings. These people were bullying me. I will not be bullied. Nobody's bullying you. They're being shitheads to you. And it happens online a lot. It happens to men too. It happens to men even when we're not speaking truth to power. It can be as simple as saying you like a football team. It can be as simple as that. And somebody will call you some of the worst names you've ever heard in your life. Cunt, bitch would be a nice thing. And it's just because the other guy likes a different team. I'm not going to be bullied. Nobody's bullying you. Nobody's bullying you. You're making women look bad right now. You went through the trouble of putting together a video of screenshots of people saying bad words to you. You are a weakling. And, well, you probably shouldn't be in office if you're going to be that weak. If you're going to be that weak, yeah, you probably shouldn't be in office. You're a leader. You're a national leader. You're one of our federal leaders. Chris says, I've been called every name in the book, never cried about it. Look, I understand people getting upset about being called names online. It's not bullying, though. Stop with that bullying shit. Now, this isn't people you're going to school with and the next day you're going to see them and they're going to be taunting you and that kind of bullying, which even that, I mean, sticks and stones would be a much better thing to teach your children than, well, sorry, guess you got 13 reasons why that shit because they're being mean to you online. But this is a grown-ass woman, at least 30 years old. Sorry, at least 25 years old. At least 25. And she's at least 30 because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was the youngest woman in Congress. So she's older than that. She's a 30-year-old woman, at least, whining because somebody called her a cunt bitch. And she's like, this is what happens when you speak truth to power. No, this is what happens when you're in politics and you're online. Welcome. It's not a great thing. It's not a good thing, but you're not going to change it. And you're certainly not going to change it by coming on here and whining with your vag. You didn't come on here and go, this is what happens when people speak truth to power. This is what happens when women do it. This tweet and that last one, I mean, these make women look like the weakest little tiniest little Fabergé eggs ever. You're a fucking congresswoman. You put together a video of people calling you names. I won't be bullied. And then have the nerve to make it sound like Attorney General Barr is the one who did it. This is what happens when your tone doesn't sit right with Attorney General Barr. I don't think he had anything to do with it. I don't think he said fuck all about it. I don't think he cared about your tone. Attorney General Barr left Congress and went, fuck those people, and went back to go do his job. Does not give two fucks what you thought. You know why? Because he's not a pussy like you are. You're not going to see Attorney General Barr put up a fucking video of all the mean shit people have said about him. Far meaner than calling him a cunt. Calling him a fucking murderer. How about that? Which you guys suggested he was. To his face. And then wouldn't give him time to respond to. Attorney General Barr doesn't like it when people talk to him like this. And so he used all his sock accounts to say mean things to me. Seriously, do you think they understand how weak this makes women look? How bad this makes women look? There are strong women out there. And you know what? I'm sure none of this is fun to hear. I'm sure it's not. But you had people who actually sued Donald Trump so they could still say shit like this to him. A suit he lost. So he had to unblock them so they could still say that kind of shit to him on the daily. And you got the fucking nerve to put it together a fucking video whining about people calling you a cunt? You're kind of a cunt. You're kind of a cunt. Sorry. Not all women are, but you are. Jesus fuck. They were so mean to me. Guys, it's a good time to remind you I'm brought to you by you. If you enjoy the show, please hit the like button. Please share. And please don't call this woman a cunt because she can't take it. It's beyond her abilities. Good God. Ready for the next one? Again, this was I realized, like I said, Alyssa Milano was retweeting a bunch of shit all at once. So all of this popped up at the same time. All of it popped up at once. And yeah. I see you nuts. The other one I saw was it's a video from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We're not watching it. Not watching it because fuck that bitch. But she does say this. When we're the ones attracting multi-million-dollar primary challengers, that just tells you how effective at Ilhan. It's Ilhan MN. That's Ilhan Omar. That just tells you how effective Ilhan is. That tells you how damned effective she is against real estate, against the military-industrial complex, against basically every corrupt institution. Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, they both have primaries coming up. Rashida Tlaib's is on the 7th, I think. Holy shit, that was loud. That one made a sound. Oh my God. Eval Potato, thank you so much. They haven't just called Barr a murderer, but also a traitor and a war criminal. But bitch is just so bad. I know, right? Bitch and cunt, remember, those two. Compared to war criminal, that's nothing. Frank, thank you so much. If she was a cunt, she could take the abuse. Yeah, I've seen the way women play with those things. They are dangerous. But thank you for the donations. Ilhan Omar and Tlaib. That's what I was talking about. Tlaib has a primary coming up. I want to say it's on the 7th, and then Omar's is on the 14th. Let me look at the dates and make sure I got these right for you guys. That doesn't seem right looking at the calendar, but I swear that's what the fucking story said. You know what? I don't live in either. Well, I do live in Michigan, but I don't live in that district. So check your own districts, guys. Minnesota and Michigan both have primaries coming up for congressional candidates. Check your local listings. Anyway, Tlaib is expected to win hers pretty easily, but she does have a challenger. Her challenger was only able to raise like $200,000 compared to, I want to say Tlaib had 2 million. 2 million is what they said. On the other hand, Ilhan Omar, I don't know how polling is going there. I haven't seen any polls, but I have seen this. Ilhan Omar's only raised about $2 million. Her challenger, her Democratic primary challenger, has raised $4 million. $4 million, twice as much, at least by the last counting anybody has. And that's not a good sign for Ilhan. Ilhan has the backing of Nancy Pelosi. She has the backing of all kinds of unions out there. But for some reason, people just ain't giving her the monies. They're giving it to other people. And there might be a reason for that. And I'm gonna pose a possibility to you. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking. Somebody said that our vote is on the 4th, and I don't know, so I was trying to look and see, because I don't want to give anybody the bad information. So yeah, again, guys, look for yourselves of when your voting is. But anyway, do you remember when Ilhan Omar was elected? Do you remember what the hype was around her? The hype around Ilhan Omar was that she was Muslim. One of the first Muslim women elected to Congress. Now, I will tell you, her challenger is for the Green New Deal. And while not willing to go champion Medicare for All, said that they would vote for it if it came across. So they have the same kind of politics. But he's not a Muslim. You know what Muslims really, really, really don't like? Adultery. In fact, in a lot of places, they'll stone you to death for it. You know what Ilhan is? She's an adulteress. She's an adulteress who left her Muslim husband for a white guy. Now, I don't know what his faith is, but I am betting it's not Muslim. I don't want to put any, I'm not meaning to use any stereotypes, but looking at the guy, I would guess he's the opposite of Muslim. If y'all catch my drift. They don't like adultery. And she's a whore. By their standards, not mine. Does this mean she's going to lose? Not necessarily. But she represents a major Muslim district. And that was one of the things they talked about. The number of Muslims that are in her district that helped get her elected. And those same people, you're not talking about people who, you have to understand with Muslims, it's not like Christians, okay? It's not like Christians where they'll love the sin or love the sinner, hate the sin. No. It's, we got to hate you and the sin. This is a very fundamental religion. And even as toned down as it is for Muslims living here rather than living overseas, where you might have, say, a Sharia law or whatever the fuck that is that they do. In Iran, it's like Sharia on steroids. I don't even know exactly what they do. What the terminology for how they kill people. But this is not a religion where they just turn a blind eye to that. Can she still win? Sure. Is it a guarantee? No. And that's why AOC is out here. Ilhan for Congress Day of Action. This was tweeted out by People for Bernie. That you have little lefties all over who are trying to push this out because it's important, you know? It's important. Because you got to get Ilhan back in here. That's her number one gal. The other two, they don't really give a fuck about. The rest of the squad, they don't really care about them. They're just some hangers-on that, you know, come in handy from time to time. It's Ilhan and AOC. You have a really good chance of this woman losing her seat because she's a Muslim, and it not being people are Islamophobic. That's funny, isn't it? Wouldn't it be funny if she ends up losing her seat because she's a Muslim, but it's because Muslims kicked her the fuck out? They're like, dirty bitch. No. We don't want none of your dirty bitchiness up in here. When the whole adultery scandal came out, that was one of the first things I said. You guys can go back and check. I was like, ooh, this is not going to sit well where she lives. This is a Muslim community, and this is all of Islam is fundamentalist, but these are serious Muslims. It's not like a fly by night, you know, Church of England kind of Muslim. There's no such thing. I mean, Check Your Logic says the media wouldn't report that, though. No, they wouldn't report it that way. Of course not. If she ends up losing, they will say it's because of corporate interest, spending all that money to get this guy, I forget his name, to get him elected instead of her, without reporting that, you know, he's just as lefty as she is. Just because of that. But, you know, the press will say it's because of Islamophobia. No, Evolved, I really don't. I think they're going to say it's because of, I think they're going to try to play it up if that happens, if she loses. And remember, guys, it's not a foregone conclusion. This is just me hoping, because I think it would be funny as fuck. But if it does happen, what the press is going to report is that, yeah, it was corporate interest that did it. Again, without at all paying attention to the fact that he's just as liberal as she is. Just as liberal. But when she started fucking a married man, and she was still married at the time. Don't forget the breakup between her and her husband. He did not want to divorce her. She said, I want a divorce. And he said, no, because she's like, you need to go file for divorce. And he's like, I'm not filing for a divorce. I don't want a divorce. Muslim. Okay, keep that in mind. Muslim. I don't want a divorce. And it's like, I'm fucking this guy now. So he's finally like, all right, fuck it, I'll file. Because he said, if you want a divorce, you need to go file. And she's like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to fuck this white guy instead. You don't think the people in those communities paid attention to that? I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting if she loses, to be able to run around and the people who do chant Islamophobia be able to go tell them, you know, it's probably the Muslims who voted her out, given the fact that she's a whore. Given the fact that she'd have been stoned in any of their root countries. Her husband didn't want a divorce. He was quoted as saying, Ilhan is like a sister to me. I think you got the wrong husband. That's the other husband. That was, that's her first husband. She's now on her third husband. I think this is only her, I think it's her first used husband. I think the other ones were, the one was her brother. Allegedly, YouTube, calm down, unbunch your panties. Then her second one was the guy that she'd been with off and on, who reportedly has kids with her. Yeah. And then now Tim Minette, or whatever his fucking name is, he was married, becomes a consultant, or works for a consulting firm that her campaign hires, and they start being secretly seen around. There was a famous picture that came out. It's like, Ilhan Omar. She goes out to California and sneaks off to this restaurant in the middle of fucking nowhere, and somebody happened to recognize her and took pictures of her holding hands with this white guy. And it was Tim. And Tim comes out, could you please not take pictures? And the guy's like, sure, yeah. But he'd already taken some. His ex threw that all out there. A lot of that came out. It was before the ex. We knew it was going to happen because we saw the pictures of them holding hands. Excuse me. Became a consultant. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Yeah. Don't forget, she has also paid her husband's consulting firm like half of what she's raised in fundraising. Which, isn't it nice that he can spend that money on her now because she can't spend it on herself when it just goes to her campaign. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much. Shio, who says, it's a shame medical marijuana isn't legal in Minnesota. Don't they like to stone adulteresses? Wow. Not that kind of stone, my friend. Not that kind of stone. Think Pebbles and not the cereal. Yeah, man. I saw that from AOC, and I'd heard that AOC or Ilhan's challenger of all of the squad. I don't know if Presley had a primary challenger. We know AOC did. She won pretty handily. It's fucking New York. Tlaib's probably won't win. They're playing up a racial aspect there because that has been a traditional black held seat. And so that's actually the way that they're kind of trying to go after the seat is a black woman should hold this seat because black women have had it for a long time. Which, by the way, that's a fucked up thing. Look, I don't care if you like Rashida Tlaib or not, which, by the way, I don't. But if your only reason to tell people to vote for you is I have the same skin color as other people who've had this, that's just racist and stupid. You should have a better reason to give people. Seriously. Got to give them something more than I identify with the color of the person who sat there last. Because that's fucking stupid. So I hope she loses on merit and not on that, because that's pretty fucked up. Ilhan, on the other hand, I've been hearing for probably the last 2-3 weeks that she's in serious trouble. This is a serious challenge. And like in that AOC tweet, let me read that again. When we're seeing the ones attracting multi-million-dollar primary challengers, that is a hint that this is going to be, if Ilhan loses, it's going to be, those corporate Democrats came for her. Frank, thank you so much. Sadly, the race play will work. I don't know. I'm not sure that it will, because it looks like Rashida Tlaib, like I said, she is, if I remember the numbers correctly, she's outraised her opponent by what is it? 1,000%? Is that what it is? Her opponent's raised 200,000. She's raised like 2 million. So it looks like she's still going to do good, or at least looks like people are still donating to her instead of her opponent. I wonder what will happen to Ilhan Omar if she loses. What do you think will become of her? Give me a 1 in chat if you think she's going to go work for CNN. Give me a 2 if you think she's going to work for MSNBC. Because we know it's going to be one of those. Until she says something stupid and has to be fired for insulting Jews. Until she gets anti-Semitic on air again. I don't want to say again, because I don't think she was on air when she did that last time, right? She was on Twitter. I don't know if that counts as on air. Remember, a woman who looked exactly like Ilhan's new husband's ex was decaffeinated in D.C. by a random mugger of peace who stole nothing. Oh, yeah. That did happen. Was that in DC? I remember it happening. There was a woman who looks just like Tim Manette. I think that's how you say his name. Ilhan's new husband. A woman that looks just like his ex-wife was just murdered on the street. Yeah. Odd, huh? Interesting how that happens. And this goes back to when there was the big hubbub at first, because this is how that whole story plays out. So we get the pictures of Ilhan Omar in this. I forget where it was. It was like somewhere in California. I want to say it was like in Pasadena or somewhere where the picture was taken. But these pictures come out where she was seen holding hands, and everybody thought it was Tim, but nobody was quite sure. And they come out. They had this romantic little dinner in an out-of-the-way spot, which was really weird. We talked about it at the time. And then a couple months later, or a month later, you know how time works for my brain. Sometime later, his wife comes out and in divorce proceedings claims that he's having an affair with Ilhan Omar, which he denies and she denies. But then again, suddenly he's like coming to her apartment at weird hours. Take a metal minister who says, she be an awful anchor. Someone always did something. Right. Today in the news, somebody did something. The end. Yeah, that didn't help her either, right? But again, this guy that she's running against, he is just as lefty as she is. So he is probably not using that kind of stuff against her, which, by the way, dumb move, dipshit. Dumb move. There is so much you could be. If I was him, I would be playing up this she cheated on her husband thing. Oh, hell yeah. With the Muslim community there, knowing that she needs their vote to win. Fuck yeah. I might not do it myself. I'd have surrogates go out and do it. I'd have a surrogate campaign going on in the city, reminding Muslims that she did it. And you could say, that's dirty. Yep. That's politics, baby. That is politics. She's a dirty whore. And in most of the country, that's okay. Not in certain areas of Michigan or Utah for different reasons, different religion. Certain areas of Minneapolis, anywhere you got a fundamentalist group as part of your voting base. So, anyway, I don't mean to talk about her being a dirty whore so long, but I am very fascinated by this one because there's a move in the Democratic Party away from traditional Democratic values, and more towards your Bernie Sanders commie leftists. With the challenges we saw to Ilhan and Tlaib and AOC, there's some people saying, look, traditional Democrats are trying to make a comeback. There's a thinking that's going on that since AOC won, and it's likely that Tlaib will, and if Omar does after them, with them all beating challengers in the primaries, that shows the people really want this kind of bullshit in their politics. Well, when you come out and smear the guy running against her as being a corporate hack, when again, he's just as left as she is. What do you do when he wins? He's just a corporate hack, right? He's just one of them. One of them. Now, what AOC doesn't tell you in that statement is she has that us versus them of the Justice Democrats, i.e. commies, and regular Democrats, i.e., commie lights. Make no mistake about it. for whatever whatever commie rhetoric they used to talk, Democrats don't want to become commies. They don't. They like making money. They like being rich. They really do. They just have this idea that they can do commie light. And I don't know, maybe they can. But they never wanted to go full-blown commie because they like being rich. Nancy Pelosi likes her $13 a pint ice cream. $13 a pint. I would choke if I just saw that at the store. I'd be like, what the fuck is that? That shit better have gold flakes in it. And then I don't think it'd be very good to eat. That's why they're democratic socialists. They can have the best of both worlds. Except for Pete, and I get what you're saying there. The people who call themselves democratic socialists, they're the commies. They're the outright commies. They're the Bernies and the AOCs and your longtime Democrats, your hardcore old school Democrats. They weren't commies. They were commie lights. They certainly were. But they never wanted to give up their money and power. Good God. I'll stick to my $5 a gallon off-brand ice cream. Thank you. Exactly, Green Death. And I bet it tastes better, too. I bet that other stuff tastes like flavored cum. It's probably what it is. It's bull cum that they're like, we'll tell them it's ice cream. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm glad to get back into politics, to be able to talk about the actual game of politics and stuff like that, because I enjoy that part. I really do. And for whatever I think of Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, there's still a political game that's being played besides their commie bullshit. I hope they lose because they're dirty fucking commies. Ilhan probably will if the Muslims turn against her. Tlaib probably will not. Tlaib is probably a guarantee. There's a very, very slim chance that this seat has to be black because it's always been black thing might work, but it's very slim, very slim. She's got the name recognition now. She's got Nancy Pelosi's endorsement because Nancy Pelosi's being a dumbass and giving her endorsement. Nancy's doing what the speaker's supposed to do. She's endorsing all of the people who are incumbents, even though some of those incumbents are trying to get other incumbents kicked out of office. AOC, bitch. Oh, it's fun to watch him fight, though. Fun to watch him fight. Excuse me. So sorry. The weather turned a little bit cold again today, and now my sinuses are like drained. And like, stop it, please. I'm trying to talk. Anyhow, so we got that out of the way. We've talked about the women's tonight, those three. I just saw this sign, and I thought it was great, so I'm going to share it with you guys. I don't know where it's from, but I'll read it to those of you who can't see it because you're just listening along. It says, "Come try the worst food you'll ever eat in your life, according to some chick on Facebook." And it's a little light up sign outside a restaurant somewhere. I think that is the most awesome sign ever. I wish I had a restaurant so I could put that sign out there. It also says fish fry Friday nights or Fridays, 2 p.m. Okay. That one just amused me. That's not an actual story. Oh, God. Elizabeth Warren tweeted out, "I hope you join me tomorrow for a conversation with Julian Castro and some of our incredible endorsed candidates." I don't know what that means. Some of our incredible endorsed candidates. Yeah. Is it endorsed just by those two? But anyway, it goes on to say, "We'll discuss how elected officials must work to end police brutality and the systemic racism that pervades our criminal justice system." All right. How many times do we have to talk about this? all of the shit that we see, every time something horrible happens, every time there's something that leads to a new Black Lives Matter protest, who runs the fucking city? Who runs the fucking police? Now, ask yourself, are they the same party that Elizabeth Warren and Julian Castro are part of? I'll help you. Yes. Yes, they are. Democrats. You guys have heard the unofficial definition of insanity, right? How about this? If you're worried about police brutality and systemic racism, stop voting for Democrats for a while and see if it gets better. Because they like to go, this is what happens in Trump's America. Trump's America had fuck all to do with the last round of these. But man, they want to put it on him, don't they? Trump made it okay for cops to kill black people. No, you guys did. If that's the tact you want to take, you guys did. You're the ones who have overseen these places. You're the ones who hire the police chiefs who are also Democrats. Hire the officers. That's you guys. It's not conservatives. AOC says violence is caused by police presence. Well, there's a lot of people when you look at what's going on in Portland who are saying the same thing. They brought the mayor, or the governor of Oregon. Washington, Oregon, Portland, Oregon. Yeah, so Oregon. What's her name? Katie. I forget her name. The governor of Oregon. The feds brought violence. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They responded to violence. It's a whole different thing. But they like to say it. I've seen a whole bunch of people. The police brought that violence, because I was arguing with people over it with the governor's statement when she said that, because she tweeted that stupid shit. She tweeted it. And like, no, that's not what happened. The rioters brought violence. The police responded to it. And a whole bunch of people, no, what do you call it when they're gassing people in the streets? Like, well, it's a response to violence. I already said that. Sorry, guys. I'm doing my best not to have to blow my nose in your ears, but still not to have too much dead air as I'm doing it. Jack, get on here so I can blow my damn nose. Anyway, if you want to stop this stuff, it seems to me the best way to do it would be to stop voting for Democrats, because it's your cities that this shit happens in. Or maybe this. Maybe there's some training you can do. Maybe when you have an officer who's had several reports, you fire him so you don't build up to a Chauvin. But if you're going to try to make it political, if you're going to make it a left-right thing, right wins this one every time. The left is the bad side. You're the ones. It was a Democratic-controlled city that killed George Floyd. That wasn't in Texas. That wasn't like El Paso or some really red city in I don't know what the red cities are in Texas. I just know not Austin. So Dallas. Is Dallas red? I don't know. If you're going to try to make it political, you guys are the bad guys. White House trade advisor Navarro blasts TikTok as a national security threat. I saw this story on the New York Post today. We got to talk about TikTok for just a minute, guys, because I haven't talked about it much. We haven't really talked about it all that much, other than to say it's run by the Chinese. They're stealing data, and that should be enough to go, yeah, they're a security threat. Maybe we shouldn't be working with them. I don't think there's much more to say. I don't understand why this is such a big deal. I really don't. I get it that there's a lot of kids who like TikTok. They'll be fine. There were kids who were upset when Vines shut down. They've learned to manage. They're okay. You can still go onto your Instagrams and your Twitters and your Facebooks for video uploading if you don't want to go to YouTube. You can, I don't know, not help a Chinese company steal information from U.S. citizens. Have we really gotten to the point? Okay. We had to listen to Russia. They're trying to influence us. So are the Chinese. And the Chinese also steal our technology all the time. And they're now spying on U.S. citizens. Look, they assure us, as a Chinese company, they're going to tell Beijing to go fuck themselves if they ask to see the data that's been collected. Don't you guys worry your little heads about it. Don't you worry your little heads about what kind of data they're collecting from you. They're going to tell Beijing to fuck off if they ask for any of that. Because that's something that can happen in China. That happens all the fucking time. Dissidents are running all over that fucking place. People are telling President Xi to go fuck himself left and right, man. Happens all the time. In fact, there's just a giant middle finger right out front in front of the presidential palace. No, wait. No, they'd be shot for that. TikTok is also a free speech platform. Are you being facetious with that? Excuse me. Yeah. I'm tired of hearing about TikTok because I don't care if they shut it down. And I'm tired of seeing news media people and politicians and the ACLU and all these other fuckers who come out and they're like, shutting this down will be detrimental to the free speech. You're going to shut down people's free speech. Meanwhile, they're happy to tell Twitter that they should shut down people's free speech. Why are you letting people say this stuff? You got to shut them down. They actually, the media was happy to report that I don't know, what was it, an audit? Is that what they called it? An audit came out that said Facebook's policies, because Facebook is the most, believe it or not, free speech of the platforms right now, guys. Facebook's free speech policies violate people's civil rights. Not kidding. We talked about that at length when it happened. I was a little incensed by that. Free speech policies were violating people's civil rights online, is what it said. Yeah. But, hey, some 13-year-old girl wants to shake her ass for the world. That is a free speech matter that has to be upheld, man. It's got to be upheld for the sake of the Chinese or whatever the fuck it is. The ACLU is adamant about this. Hate these fucking morons. Oh, God. This. You know what? I saw Prospero call this man a thumb, and I think that's a pretty good description. Although I still think he looks like he drives a candy van. Brian Stelter, you guys. Brian, don't get in his van, Stelter. He's whining about the president suggesting that maybe the election should be postponed. Let me know how the sound is.
The New York Times called it Trump's campaign to undercut democracy.
Can you guys hear that okay? I'll wait just a second to see. 13-year-old girl shaking her ass on camera. What the serious fuck? Look, have you seen what's on TikTok? Some of it should probably be banned for other reasons. What's the word I'm looking for here? It's pedo bait in a lot of ways. I'm not seeing anybody tell me if you could hear this. Louder a bit. Can I turn that up? Not over there. Okay, I'll turn it up over here and hopefully that makes it better. So here we go.
The New York Times called it Trump's campaign to undercut democracy. And you can say it was just a tweet, and you can say he was just kidding. It is still creeping authoritarianism, even if the guy is joking.
It's even creepy and authoritarianism, even if it's a joke. Creepy and authoritarian if it's a joke. You can say it's a joke about authoritarianism. You know what I mean? But I feel like anybody who's lived under actual authoritarian rule wasn't laughing too hard. You could say it was a joke, even if it was a joke. Still creepy and authoritarian. I want to remind you, the president merely asked if we should postpone the election. We'll get back to that in a minute.
Of course, the good news this week is the Republicans did immediately challenge Trump's musing about delaying the election. And more good news, news outlets did a really good job of truth squatting right away, immediately pointing out in the headlines that Trump didn't have the authority to delay anything anyway.
Time out, you lying fucking candy van driving piece of shit. They did a good job truthering, you guys. Truthering, pointing out Trump didn't have the authority. Let's talk some truth. Trump never suggested he did. Trump never suggested he could stop the election at all. There's some truthering for you, you weird motherfucker. He looks like a clown without his makeup on a bad day. And I'm telling you, if this motherfucker doesn't own a candy van somewhere, I'm telling you, he's got to. He's got to. There's no way he can look like that and not own a candy van. It's not possible, especially with the way he sounds. You put the way he sounds with the way he looks, and if he doesn't have a candy van, one should just materialize. Like in his driveway every morning. He like has him come tow it away and it's right back like some weird Groundhog Day thing. And as much fun as it is to make fun of how that little creepy ball sack looks, this part is a fucking lie. That he dresses up as truth. He dresses up as truth. They did a really good job of truthering and saying he couldn't do it anyway. Trump never suggested he did have the authority to do that. Ever.
But it's August 2nd. The election is November 3rd. There's going to be 3 more months of this. 3 more months of the lies.
He means from him.
3 more months of the sowing doubt.
He means from him.
Of the delegitimizing the election.
He means from him.
3 more months of this.
He means from him.
And the president still has the keys. He is still behind the wheel.
And that pisses you off.
His words still have power in this looming car crash.
I warn you guys about our press all the time. And this is why. This is the stuff. This is what I'm talking about. You might not watch CNN daily, but there's a lot of people who do. You might not follow them on Twitter, but there's a lot of people who do. You might not read the website, but there's a lot of people who do. And this motherfucker just got up there and made it sound as though Donald Trump is the one who suggested Donald Trump had the power to put off an election. Which, by the way, Donald Trump didn't do. I'm going to, again, remind you of what I think Donald Trump did. We have to go back to the primaries. You guys remember the primaries? Seems so long ago now, don't they? Democrats got very, very, very mad. Very mad because some of the primaries still took place during a pandemic. They need to be put off, you guys. It's a pandemic. Y'all remember that? Some of them actually were postponed. New York was postponed. I don't remember which other ones got postponed, but there were a lot of them like, how dare you not postpone this? So here's what I think Trump did. I think Trump was worried about them calling for a postponement of the election. I think in order to cut their legs out from under them, Trump just floated the idea. If you read that tweet, he talks about how the coronavirus is so bad right now, and then just floats the question, should we delay the election? That's it. And when you put together the fact that they wanted primaries delayed because of COVID, and that Donald Trump floats that, knowing damn good and well none of them are going to go along with it, I think he did it. I think he did it to keep them from floating the idea themselves, because the media would have jumped all over that. If Nancy Pelosi was the one who came outside, if Nancy was the one who came out and went, hey, COVID is horrible, we just need to put off the elections, then the news media would have jumped all over him. But yes, we got to do that. We have to. Nancy said so. And if we don't, it's irresponsible. Donald Trump took that wind right out of their sails. Now, there are people who read my little theory, and they're like, he's not that smart. When it comes to playing the press, Donald Trump is amazingly smart. It is one of his greatest powers. Probably it's his superpower. And this goes back decades. Donald Trump has always been able to manipulate the media to get the attention he wants. He's been doing it for decades. It's not even 4D chess massive. It is simple manipulation. Simple manipulation. Trump knows if he says X, then they're going to say Y. It's like, okay, I don't want them to say Y. I'll say it. The end. I mean, this is what Trump has been doing since I was a kid. It's not even, you don't even have to be that smart. You just have to be smart enough to understand what's going on. You guys ever watch South Park? You ever watch South Park? There's a great moment in the flag episode, the South Park flag episode. Jimbo wants to keep the flag the way it is. Chef wants it changed. Well, Jimbo and Ned realize that the KKK is on their side. They're like, man, nobody's going to support us if these guys are on our side. So they dress up as the KKK and they go to the rally. And when people are like, okay, anybody got ideas on what we should do? Jimbo shoots up, I think we should say the flag should be changed. And everybody goes, what? And he goes, look, we have to accept nobody agrees with us. So if we say we want to change, then nobody will want to change. And they're like, that's really smart, brother. And so that's what they do. It's that simple. Picking the other side so that your opponent will argue against it. It's not that hard. And like I said, Trump has been doing this shit for decades. His book, The Art of the Deal, go read it. I mean, it's all about manipulation. He's talked extensively about manipulating the press. The motherfucker's been doing it publicly, telling them that he manipulates them. And they still like, we don't believe it. Evolve says, I forgot about the South Park flag. That was great. Right. It was and it's not a wrong thing. I mean, if you are, if you're Jimbo and you want them to get off your side, that's one way to do it. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. Hot shower, hot shower, hot shower. Right. We're going to go take a hot shower. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. So, what Stelter's doing here is it's disgusting. And it's what our press has been doing for a long time. This is the kind of shit that I tell you guys about all the time to keep a lookout for. This is the kind of shit that makes me hate them. This is the kind of shit that makes me tell you they're a bunch of manipulative, cock-sucking, partisan hacks. Because they are. They really are. Brian Stelter actually lies while telling you about how they were out there. They did a great job truth-seeking. This is a man who just told you, even if it's a joke, it's authoritarian. The fuck does that even mean? How do you have I guess you can make a joke about being an authoritarian, but if you make a joke about being an authoritarian and you've made no policies or motions to be authoritarian, then it's just a fucking joke. But there can be no jokes from Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not allowed to tell jokes because he's mean to people. Man, I wish somebody would just have that moment. We need that have you no shame moment with our press. And it's never coming. I've resigned myself to that. So I don't know how you fight back against this without everybody just speaking up when they can. Oh, man. After Pastor John MacArthur announced that his congregation at Gracecom Church in Sun Valley, California, would be assembling in obedience to God's word, he received a letter from LA County officials threatening repercussions such as fines and possible arrest. Guys, I have solved this problem, and we need to spread this far and wide. If you go to church, you need to tell your pastor, your priest, your rabbi, your imam, whichever it is, don't call it church service. You guys are no longer there to worship your God. You are there to protest sin. You're welcome. This one is more about the tweet that it's attached to. I don't know how loud this one's going to be either. So sorry, guys. I don't have a producer. This guy is, I forget his name. We'll talk about his name here in a second. We'll turn that off so you can see his whole head. He's got more hair than Brian Stelter had in third grade. He works for the Donald Trump campaign, and I forget who he is, but he's being interviewed by Chris Wallace. And I hit the wrong button and closed it so we don't get a watch. That's why I need a producer.
Can you?
Shrouded, thank you so much. Who says, tell them that you're protesting COVID. No, just tell them you're protesting sin. As long as you're protesting, it's okay. That sounded really loud to me. Okay, is this better?
State flatly that neither the Trump.
Okay, can you guys hear that? The second sound that came out? Let me know, and we'll continue on there. Yeah, it was really loud the first time. Keever says yes. All right. Chris Wallace being a dick to the... Remember, Chris Wallace from Fox, that conservative bastion that some of you are still convinced is a conservative news source. It's not. But...
Can you state flatly that neither the Trump administration nor the Trump campaign has received any information from foreign groups, foreign nationals about either Joe Biden or his family? And can you state flatly that neither the administration nor the campaign will accept foreign assistance?
Chris, that's a silly question. I mean, the folks who have actually taken foreign assistance were the Clinton campaign 4 years ago. I mean, that entire shady dossier they put together was from a British spy. No, we're going to go and beat Joe Biden fair and square here. Absolutely. But I think you should have asked the same question to two of his prospective running mates and Senator Duckworth and Karen Bass, because just as we saw 4 years ago, it was the Democrats who took foreign assistance.
He's not wrong. He's absolutely right about what he said right there. But of course, this doesn't matter. Chris is going to take another crack at it because he didn't get an answer he liked.
But can you flatly state that the Trump campaign and the administration will not accept foreign assistance this time?
Chris, I said that's an absolutely silly question. We're going to go and win this race fair and square.
I'm just asking for an answer. It's a yes or no question, Jason.
Chris, there is no foreign assistance that's happening in this campaign, but I would ask you to make sure that the Democrats aren't going to do what they tried to pull 4 years ago, because that's exactly, they're going to try to find every possible way to cheat and steal this election. 100%.
Okay, Jordan, thank you so much. Tell them to protest Sinatra, or question mark. Tell them to protest Sinatra. I mean, I guess you could. Why are you going to protest Sinatra? He's a nice guy. Not that sin, real sin. Okay, so no, I don't want to stop sharing. I want to show you the tweet this is attached to. To the DNC War Room. This is one of the official accounts from the Democratic National Committee. Says this: watch, Trump advisor Jason Miller is asked 3 times whether the Trump administration or campaign would accept foreign assistance in this election. 3 times he refuses to say no. Dun, dun, dun. No mention in their tweet about how they helped pay for the Steele dossier. The foreign Steele dossier. The Steele dossier written by Steele. What's his name? Christopher Steele? I always fuck up his first name. He's a British spy. He's a British spy. You know where he got his information from? Russians. And Chris Wallace, do you think Chris Wallace he told him, should have asked Bass, and I forget the other person he said. I'm assuming they were on the show recently. Do you think he asked them if Biden was going to, is Joe Biden going to say flatly he will not take any help from any foreign? He's not going to take any information from foreigners. One, I got to be honest with you here. There's nothing wrong with accepting foreign information. Now, I would say I think there's something wrong with paying for them to fabricate foreign information. Didn't he actually say no in the middle of the first answer? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He actually says that's a ridiculous question. No. You wanna here? Da, 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 da. Bam. I'm not gonna get rid of the thing this time because I'm too lazy.
Can you state flatly that neither the Trump administration nor the Trump campaign has received any information from foreign groups, foreign nationals about either Joe Biden or his family? And can you state flatly that neither the administration nor the campaign will accept foreign assistance?
Chris, that's a silly question. I mean, the folks who have actually taken foreign assistance were the Clinton campaign 4 years ago. I mean, that entire shady dossier they put together was from a British spy. No, we're going to go and beat Joe Biden fair and square here.
No, we're going to go beat Joe Biden fair and square. Now, remember, Chris asked 2 more times after this. They're not wrong that he gets asked twice more. He's not wrong that, I mean, he is asked 3 times. But he actually did say no. Yeah. But the DNC, man, he won't say they won't take foreign assistance. Oh my God. Bitch, you paid for it. You fucking paid for it. And it was used for a bullshit FBI investigation. What should be a fucking criminal offense. What should have led to a treason trial against the former president of the United States and his vice president, the current Democratic National candidate. Presumptive candidate, I should say. Chris Wallace stated this time. Yeah, I saw that. I heard that too. This time, are you not going to do it? They didn't do it last time, dick. What he's referring to is the WikiLeaks Russian drop. There's nothing wrong with information coming out that helps them. Now, should they be breaking into servers? No. But once the information was out there, what are you supposed to do? Pretend it wasn't said? Pretend it wasn't leaked all over? Pretend that they hadn't fucked? You know, the funny part about that, the funny part about the foreign help that they received, the WikiLeaks stuff, the stuff from the DNC servers being hacked, all that did was show what shitbags they were to Bernie Sanders. That's what that was. That's where that information came from. That's how we found out Donna Brazil had given Hillary Clinton the questions in advance. Pete, thank you so much. What's wrong with foreign assistance anyway? Doesn't the U.S. assist a shitload of other countries? Unofficially, yeah. We never officially get involved in elections. Officially, we're on the outside. We're just hoping somebody wins. Thank you for the donation, sir. Yeah, that's what the horrible Russian hack that helped Donald Trump so much. That's what it was. It was finding out that the Clinton campaign and the DNC worked to fuck over Bernie Sanders. That's all it was. And you're going to be pissed off to find out how dare you cheat an election when we're talking about cheating an election? For fuck's sake. Oh God, that's literally what it is. How dare you use that information that we cheated in an election to cheat an election? You mean tell the truth about how you guys were fucking liars? That's a fucked up thing to do, ain't it? Wow, you are paying somebody to make up lies about you. You're supposed to keep your mouth shut about what was said. Donald, you bastard. They're paying Chris Steele. Is that his name? I always get his name wrong. They're playing dickhead Steele. However much, does anybody ever know how much they paid Fusion GPS? They pay Fusion GPS, who has Steele go over to Russia, make up a whole bunch of shit with some Russians, including that Donald Trump watched women pee on a bed. Yeah, remember that? Yeah. There's some great information. Went over there and paid him a bunch of money to go over there and talk to them, to come back, for you to lose, and then to bitch about foreign interference in an election. Which, by the way, you then used that paid for bullshit foreign information to try to impeach this president. You never quite got there, though. You had to go to Ukraine instead with Alexander Vindman. You guys have the nerve to sit around and talk about Trump cheating. And this is Chris Wallace, man. Chris Wallace from Fox News. He's one of them real heavy hitters. He gets to the real meat of the issue that his anti-Trump overlords tell him to get to. You know, I just watched the John Ward video again the other day where he's pointing out it was Shepard Smith and some pretty blonde talking about the border and pointing out how not conservative Fox News is. It was back when Shep Smith still worked there. And the little blonde talking about how horrible things are down at the border. Not saying somebody said they were poor. How horrible the things are down at the border. On Fox News. The conservative news, guys. Conservative news. There ain't no conservative news. The funny part is that the most conservative people on there still get the best ratings. Tucker and Hannity. Like, why would you want to go that way? Why are you going to sell yourself out when your audience wants? You know, I don't even care if it's conservative or left. Just be honest. Just be honest. That was a bullshit question from Chris Wallace. That was a bullshit question from him. Evolve Potato, thank you. He asked if Trump administration has received information about Biden or his family from foreign sources. So the info about Biden using U.S. money to pressure people into not investigating his son is somehow bad. There was a problem. When did that come up? It was before the Ukrainian thing, wasn't it? Where Donald Trump was asked if he would accept. Was it back in the first election? At some point, somebody asked Trump if he would take foreign assistance. You know, if he got information from a foreign source, and it's like, I'd look at it. We might use it. And everybody's like, oh my God. Oh my God. How dare he? All while ignoring the whole Steele thing. Yeah. So, yeah. Trump is supposed to ignore anything bad. Anything bad about Biden, you're not supposed to look at it, especially if it comes from overseas. But they all decided at that point that, no, I can't believe he said that. The same people who, were perfectly fine with the Steele dossier when they first heard about it, who defended the Steele dossier until it became indefensible, still defend the investigation into Carter Page, which came from the Steele dossier. We know that the Steele dossier, you had, what was it, McCabe, who came out and said, look, the Steele dossier didn't really play much of a role in it. And then we see him like, Yeah, it did. It's right here. It's in the testimony. It's in the fucking court record. What the fuck do you mean it didn't play a role? Rules for thee. Rules for thee. Anyhow. Let's see. Didn't Biden withhold $4 billion from Ukraine? Was it $4 billion? I forget the amount, but yeah. He withheld money. I think it was, I want to say it was $1 billion. $1 billion until they fired the prosecutor that was investigating Burisma. Is it Burisma? Yeah, Burisma. Some of these names just run the fuck together. But until they agreed to fire the prosecutor who'd been looking into the Burisma company. And yeah, he bragged about it. He absolutely bragged about it. And they're like, nah, that was okay. Because the Burisma, he wasn't investigating Burisma one time. Yeah, because he even says, they looked at me and said, you don't have that power. And he goes, you go ahead and call the president and you find out. Yeah. Remember, that was $1 billion. That was $1 billion in guaranteed loans. And yeah. What was the Trump one? A couple $100 million? Yeah. Anyhow. Getting back to where we were in my fucketry for the day. Kamala Harris said, if Donald Trump is reelected, the damage that he has done may be irreparable. In 93 days, we must vote for @Joe Biden. If you believe that Donald Trump can do irreparable damage to this country, then we need to rethink the power a president has. Now, personally, I think we need to rethink the power a president has anyway. I do. I think they have way too much power. I think we give them way too much deference. But our country can survive any president. Any. We have a system that was purposefully built to be able to withstand a shitty president. This fear mongering. Remember, guys, they don't play on fears. The damage that he has done may be irreparable. They don't play on fears. Damage may be irreparable. They don't play on fears. That's what the Republicans do, you guys. The Republicans are fear mongers. The damage may be irreparable. Huh. You know why I don't like Democrats? I find them to be disingenuous, lying shitbags. And for the most part, the part that gets me, you know, when it's politics, it's politics. When they didn't keep their campaign promises, I mean, that's elections. But the part that gets me is this shit right here. They're fear mongers. We are not. You've been paying attention to the Democrats for the last 30 years? I have. They run on nothing but fear. Even Obama's hope and change, it was, if we didn't change things, we were going to just go straight down into the toilet in that car wreck off the curb, and the country was going with it because of Republicans. That was hope. That's their version of hope. They will talk shit. They will just absolutely demonize to the point of dehumanizing their opponents. And that's the Republicans. I'm not the biggest fan of Republicans. But I watch the two sides. And I watch the way they're talked about and the way they talk to each other and the way they talk about each other. And if you watch the talking heads and you watch the news and even even some people I associate with, you'll hear things like, they're the same. They do the same things to each other. No, they don't. They don't. They might both insult each other. They might both even pick at each other a little bit. But the Democrats will absolutely demonize. And that's not hyperbolic. That's just fact. They will demonize their opponents. The damage will be irreparable. Sorry, may be irreparable. She did put in there that it might be fixable. There's a may be irreparable. It may be irreparable damage, you guys. Go fuck yourself, Kamala. You and your whole fucked up party. I think that brings me to the end of stupids that I saw today. I'm fairly certain. Yeah. We did have the touchdown of the Dragon capsule. That was kind of cool. Landed with no problems. Splashdown, from what I was told, right on time, but fuck if I knew when it was supposed to actually splash down. The video on it was kind of shit, but you could still make out something fell in the water. That was neat. Apparently the Celtics beat the Trailblazers in the Neil League. Yanks over the Sox. The Yanks swept the Sox, didn't they? I seem to remember. Bill Clinton is a pedo is trending in Michigan. Oh, apparently it was trending number 1 at one point too in the world. Well then. Look, I don't know if he's a pedo, but there certainly seems to be a lot of smoke near that fire. Somebody needs to go looking. We need to find out. Go digging. Did you guys see the story? Ghislaine Maxwell had sex with had sex with girls constantly on Pedo Island. And somebody went, raped. She didn't have sex with them. She raped them, you fucks. I guess it's still, I should be, I don't want to say happy, but it should warm my heart to know that they'll do that no matter whether the female rapist victim is a male or a female. Should do my heart a little bit of good. At least there's some equality going on there, if not for the rapist. What else do we have here? How long have we been going? Oh, we're an hour and 40 minutes. Who knew that I could talk this long, this tired? You guys, because you've heard me do it before. I think I'm going to wrap up because I'm tired. I really am tired, and I'm going to try to go get some sleep. So, guys, thanks for coming out and watching the show tonight. Thank you for the support always. You guys are amazing, and I love you for it. Thank you for the donations. I can't tell you how much I appreciate those. Tonight is Monday, so we'll be on Satsu 2 Cents channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for Lords of the Night. Probably game eventually. I don't know when, so keep an eye out on Twitter. You'll see it there first. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.